Hello, my friends, and welcome to another stream of Adobe Live. I'm your host, Kieran Lewis, a designer from London. And on today's stream, we have the wonderfully talented, multidisciplinary designer, Nina Tsur. Nina, how are you doing today?
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing? You good?
I'm good. It's hot.
Nice.
Keeping cool.
It is very cool. It's very
Yeah.
hot, right? But we're good. We're in a good space. I'm excited to see your design process. As I can see,
Cool.
our friends are coming in the chat. We have got Keys, Jeff, Penny, Oliver, Robert. As always, my friends, make sure you get those questions in the chat directly for the lovely Nina, and I'll do my best to share them. And just a few housekeeping rules. Remember to subscribe to our Adobe Live at Instagram and also our YouTube channel for any cool updates and things that's going on in the Adobe space. So, Nina, this is all about you today. Would you like to introduce the lovely audience to who you are and what you're working on for today's stream?
Sure. My name is Nina Tsur. I'm a multidisciplinary designer based in New Jersey. Um, I do illustration, design, motion graphics. I also do like murals and merch, all kind of like to
Nice.
cover everything. I guess my main gist with my work is it's very bright and colorful, has like a handmade vibe. So
Nice.
today we're going to be working on a little postcard.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
yeah, so that'll be fun. Um, I guess we'll keep it kind of Jersey Shore themed, not TV show Jersey Shore, but
Disclaimer,
actual
just so.
actual Jersey Shore, like going down the shore, Jersey Shore vibe. So yeah, this is some of my
Nice.
work. This is on my website. You can see there's kind of no matter what medium I'm in, it's always kind of handmade vibe, like just looks
Mm.
like it has a human touch to it. But yeah, this is some of my
It's
work
very
you could
fun as
check
well.
out.
Like I got that vibe when I was researching and checking you out, and I was like, I saw the Adult Swim at the top, and I was like, wow, that must be a quite a cool client to work with. But yeah,
Oh,
definitely digging your
definitely.
style.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's
I can see some
they're really
folks.
fun to work with. Yeah,
Cool.
super fun to work with. But
And I
yeah,
can see
those
some
are just
folks as
some
well sharing some
projects.
love in the chat as well, which is good. Everyone's sort of loving the vibes that you're seeing on the site, which is
Oh my
sick. So yeah,
gosh,
very
hi.
cool.
Cool. So I guess we can just jump into some work.
Yeah. When you're ready,
Um,
yeah, just go straight into it.
yeah. Oh wait, maybe I'll show some old postcards I've done. So this is a
Yeah.
postcard I did for the holiday season for this year. It was like a happy holidays kind of vibe. Um, I actually made this all in 3D and then I redrew it in I think in Photoshop. So traced all
Nice.
that. And then this was the one from 2023. So again, just like all
That's
done
cool.
in Photoshop and like colored in and stuff like that. So this is gonna be a summer version, basically.
Okay.
So let's go into Photoshop first.
Cool.
So I have uh I made some like basic designs. It's probably super dark. I don't know how if you could see this well.
We can see
But
them, yeah. We're good.
okay, cool. So I was trying to think of things that remind me of the Jersey Shore, and that's just like the boardwalk. Like the boardwalk is like the number one thing of any Jersey Shore that you go to, like any beach that you go to in New
Hmm.
Jersey. There's just always, at least for me, like the boardwalk is always having way more tension than the actual beach itself. Um, like there's food, games, rides, all that stuff. So I kind of just drew some little doodles. Um, Also arcades. Like it's like
Ah, nice.
yeah, like they get you hooked on just like paying like $50 for like a tiny little plushie, you know?
Do you visit
But
many
yeah.
like back home where you are, like for inspiration, of course, and for fun? Do you visit many arcades or?
Yeah. Oh, arcades. I mean, I'll
Hmm.
go if there's one around, you know?
Okay.
Like I always kind of
Okay.
just sneak my way through. Like I was in Jersey City and there was this place called Barcade, which is a bar and an arcade. So I was just like,
Nice.
oh, I just happened to end up here. I think they also have a few in the city. But yeah,
Nice.
same thing like Asbury Park, just going to the arcade.
Hmm.
I think like Point Pleasant, just like arcade, like everything. I always go. There's also like saltwater taffy. I think that's like a huge thing
Okay.
on the shore. And then I feel like this is a very uniquely Jersey thing, but it's like getting a bagel like right before you go to the boardwalk because it's just
Okay.
like like how could you not get a
That's what you do,
bagel.
right? It'd be wrong not to,
Yeah.
right? I
Yeah.
can dig that.
And it's like a little
Cool.
icky. Like you don't go to the beach with it, but you stay on the
Hmm.
boardwalk and you just eat your bagel because no one wants like a sandy bagel, you know?
Fair,
Um,
fair. And if
so
you do, with no
um,
judgment, right? If you do, so that's the
oh
kind of yeah,
yeah. I
no
mean, I get
judgment here.
if you're into that, if you're into that. There's like maybe slight
Cool.
judgment if you're into that. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna start by working on some little doodles in here. And then we're gonna bring it into Illustrator and vectorize them.
Hmm.
Like I mentioned before, I really like having a hand-drawn look to everything that I do. So I do this thing where I just draw everything in Photoshop or draw it by hand in Illustrator.
Hmm.
Um, and then if I draw it by hand in Photoshop, I'll bring it into Illustrator and just use image trace and kind of see what
Nice.
happens from there. But yeah.
And a quick question: when you do your kind of drawings and your kind of workings out or scamps, I should say, are you on the go? Are you doing it sort of sit down, quiet space, or depends on the deadline or the project? Do you kind of do you find that sort of moment for like brain space to just sit down and do your doodles?
Um, I kind of do it whenever, well, yes, like I make space if it's for a project
Hmm.
specifically, but I feel like most of the time I kind of just do it when like inspiration hits a little.
Nice,
I
nice.
feel like a lot of what my sketching process is
Hmm.
just um it's just kind of writing too, like writing
Okay.
notes.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if this is too thin. I'm also using the um Kyle brushes from the Kyle Webster brushes. You can actually
Cool.
get them all now through Adobe, which is really, really helpful.
Nice.
So I like using the pencily brushes, and I kind of just pick around and see
Hmm.
which ones which ones I vibe with today.
It's nice to have
So
those kind of like go-to brushes, but I don't know if you find this, but I always you have maybe five or six, but there's always one or two that you always end up going back to because you just know it's a sure winner, right?
it's like all reliable, you know?
Definitely. Of
Like you
course.
just know that it works.
And by the way, some great comments coming in the chat. I can see we've got Jennifer Hood who said, "I love that Nina is reclaiming the Jersey Shore today." So there we go. We've got a
Hi,
lot of folks throwing
Jen.
in some, and they're loving the vibes as well. I can see from the work. So yeah, keep them coming. And again,
Cool.
any sort of things you want to see, my friends in the chat on YouTube or Behance, let us know, and I will definitely share that with Nina. If you're curious to know about the design process, what she's doing, any tools she's working on, let me know, and we'll get that answered.
Cool. Um, I when I'm working with like a weird brush like this, I feel like it's kind of hard to see like what I'm doing. So I just hit the caps lock and it gives me that little crosshair. I feel like it's
Nice.
way more manageable for me to figure out what I'm doing.
Hmm.
Yeah.
It's quite fun kind of trace. It reminds me of kind of like old school days where I don't know if you did this, but trace over like comic books or like magazines. Yeah, do you do that? Okay, cool. That was
Oh
quite fun.
yeah.
It's like you're bringing back the old days. I love it.
I mean, I feel like a lot of my work process is inspired
Mm,
by things that I did as a kid. So like tracing magazines. That's what something I used to do. I used to draw like little comics and stuff.
mm.
Used to make a lot of videos. Like Windows Movie Maker was the only thing I used as a
Oh
kid.
wow, I
Yeah.
remember those days. Yeah,
So
nostalgia much.
yeah, oh definitely. So yeah, definitely do a lot of that. Um, and I feel
Nice.
like that style is kind of coming back of
I think
just
so. They're kind of
like
mm,
the early like 2000s kind of style of like stretching type and making everything look like it was made in paint, like Microsoft Paint, you
yeah.
know?
The idea
Um,
of things too polished, it doesn't seem as like interesting anymore. I don't know. It's just yeah, it's okay to kind of step out the lines a bit, maybe. No pun intended with the strokes, but yeah, it
yeah.
tends to be kind of, go off piece. We've got a comment in the chat from Maria, who I think agrees as well. I said hand drawing is great for a more unique look. Yeah, totally agree, Maria.
Oh,
And
definitely.
We've got a question here from Amy who said, "We need an official definition of scamps from Kieran because the quality British lingo." If I said to you scamps, would you know what that means? Like a scamp drawing?
A
Maybe it's just my
scamp?
yeah. Maybe it's just me
No.
then. Crikey.
I
Okay,
feel
yeah. So like rough drawings, scamp.
Oh, okay. I thought that
Or
was
maybe I
like
made that up, but, but yeah.
I thought that was like a derogatory word to like call someone like a scamp. Like
Oh wow. Okay, no, that's my mind is blown. I've always known it from like college days, university. Anyway, going off
no,
piece,
no,
but to answer your
I don't
question, what have I done? All right, open the floodgates. Right. But yeah, I hope it answers your question, Amy. So yeah, I guess it's just the idea of just drawing like rough on the go. Um, but if there's other terminology, please educate me. Love to know.
Oh my God, I'm gonna add that to my lingo. I'm gonna be like, oh,
Please do.
I know British.
We can
I know
share
British.
references and lingos. It's only right.
Oh, definitely. I'm trying to think like, well, I guess down the shore. Like, I feel like that's so uniquely Jersey. Like when people say like, oh, I'm going down the shore, it's like, all right. I feel like there's so
Definitely.
much Jersey slang, but a lot of it's not appropriate.
We're educated. We've got a question here from Jeff Miller for you. He said,
Whoa.
"Do you have to commit to the brush size, or can you change it later?"
Oh, you could do whatever you want. Have fun with it.
Nice. That's what we like to
Um,
hear.
yeah, I think usually I commit to a size, so I kind of like figure out what I like first, but you
Mm,
can kind of fake it if you're drawing in Illustrator and then you're just drawing with strokes and then you could play with the strokes after
mm.
that. Um, but yeah, there's no rules.
And
If you want to use multiple sizes.
in terms of your setup, are you pen tooling it? Are you sorry, tablet or are you
Oh
mouse?
yeah.
What's your yeah? So it's
Yeah,
cool to
I'm
know your
using a
setup.
tablet. Using a
Cool.
tablet now. I'm using this kind of like the affordable Cintiq.
Mm.
Um, just to 'cause that's what I could afford. But yeah, it's good. It has a screen, so I know what I'm drawing. I used to have the drawing tablet that didn't have the screen, and it was good, but I feel like I
Mm.
need to see like what I'm doing. So
I can concur. I can yeah.
yeah.
It's always good to know as well. Whenever we get guests over for Adobe Live, it's always cool to know like the different tools that folks use, and
Hmm.
kind of what's your setup. And again, even the chat, let us know what's your are you an illustrator, you a designer? What's your kind of setup? It's always nice to know. I remember the first. I don't know if you can relate, but I remember when I first used a tablet. I don't know if you remember that moment, of first using the tablet, but it's like your mind opens up a new world of, oh my
Oh
God,
yeah.
this is so much easier, right?
Yeah. And you kind of think like, why didn't I do this sooner?
Yeah,
Like, why did I wait so long to get a tablet?
definitely.
Okay, the glasses are a little Spider-Man right now, but we're gonna fix that.
I was
They're
gonna say that,
looking,
but I was like, no, don't go too Marvel just yet. Give her a moment or two. But I like it. I'm digging it.
we'll try
So
to
I can
fix
see, are you
that.
doing each sort of graphic is a different layer, no?
Yeah, I just like
Okay,
the ability to move stuff around if I need to. So I could
sure.
just grab whatever layer, like auto
Nice.
select layer, and just, oh, didn't want to select that one. And then I think Photoshop has this new thing where it like highlights the layer box now, which is cool.
Yes, that's very
So I could
cool.
just like do that. And I could see without having to look at my layers tab.
On the topic of layers, and I'm always curious to know what folks think on this front, but are you a color code? Again, no judgment if you are or not, but are you color code? Is- Do you? I don't,
Personally, I'm not.
yeah.
Like, unless I
I'm
feel
weird for
like
doing that.
no, I think that's really good and it's very like admirable. Like I try to be like that, but I
Mm.
just like I can't do it, you know?
It's over the top. Well, it depends on what your jam is, right? I guess it's
Yeah.
yeah. Any color code layers in the chat, let me know. Surely I'm not alone on this. Got to be a few color coded friends about. So yeah, I mean, I'm quite curious, Nina, what's your background? Obviously, whilst you're in the flow and designing, let us know a bit about your background. Are you self-taught, education?
Oh,
What's your route whilst you're designing? Let us know.
so I got into design in my junior year of high school. I took a design class and my
Hmm.
teacher was like, "Oh, you're really good at this." And I was like, "Okay, like I don't know what I want to do for college, so I guess I'll go into this." And I was kind of stuck between that and illustration, and I feel like now I just do both, you know. So I kind of satisfied both needs. So from high school, I went to School of Visual Arts in New York and studied graphic design there for 4 years. And
Mm,
then, yeah, ever since then, I've just been working. I worked at Random House. I was a designer at Random House for a few years, and then freelance work started piling up a lot, so I left,
nice.
and that was basically it. Random House was
Nice.
like my only real big girl job until I quit. But yeah.
No, it's nice that you have like a mixture as well, like a range of both the full-time realm and also freelance. I don't know if it's, do you find that sometimes quite useful to have an idea of what it's like to have both and then make that decision on which one you actually really want to pursue?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like ever since I was a kid, I knew I didn't want to work in like a corporate environment.
Mm,
And yeah, I was just like, oh, okay, I don't know if working with like in like such a huge company, like I think like Penguin Random House is like the number one publishing company. So I was just like, I don't know if this is for me.
mm,
Um, because I also just love working with like so many different types of projects that I just wanted to leave and like do my own thing.
yeah.
So yeah, that was basically it. I just wanted to have like a little more freedom in like my projects and stuff.
Mm. No, I get
But
that.
it did
That's
it
the
did
sweet spot.
help.
It
Yeah, it
did,
did
yeah.
help. Just like with project management and like I guess dealing with like people, like
Mm.
professional side, you know?
Humans,
But
yeah.
yeah, like how to have coworkers and stuff like that, or like how to
Mm,
collaborate on a project and all that stuff. Which I feel like are so important to have, you know? Like no matter,
mm,
I feel like you don't necessarily need to have like a super corporate type of job, but yeah, just having a space to work with others is like really important and good
mm.
for young designers.
Yeah, no, I love that. It's a few gems you've thrown at us there. I can see in the chat we've got a few folks sort of sharing their experiences. We've got Jeff who said, "I'm self-taught and I'm self-taught, love the learning process." And I guess as well, the beauty of understanding and learning new tools is that you don't have to necessarily go on the traditional route, as it were, right? Education,
Hmm.
or it could be via live streams. It could be watching tutorials. Yeah, it's quite nice to have a mixture of both, and also freelance and full time, right? To mix it up. It's
Oh,
good.
yeah, definitely. I mean, like I think I even have this like on my website, but I I think on my website it says like I learned how to think like a designer at SVA, but all of the technical stuff that I'm showing
Hmm.
here are things that I learned on YouTube, like including Adobe Live.
Nice.
Like I learned
Yay,
so
Adobe Live.
much. Yeah.
Had
I
to
really
mention that.
learned I learned so much so many things on YouTube tutorials and stuff like that. So
Hmm.
I thank every person that uploads a tutorial. It's insanely helpful. Because like even
Nice.
to this day, I'm just like, how do I do this? Like sometimes it's the most simple things. I'm just like, how do I do this? And I'm still learning all
Hmm.
these things uh programs that I've been using for like 10 years already. Like
Hmm.
I've been using Photoshop and Illustrator and InDesign too for since high school. So yeah, it's been a long time. And then I'm still learning new things, even things that are have been there for so long. I'm just like, oh, I didn't know I could do that.
Hmm.
Interesting. Yeah.
But I love as well, like even you mentioned the great idea of just you're learning as you go along and you're watching people. But again, folks are tuned into what you now, right? I guess there could be something that
Yeah.
if you're just starting out or you're a seasoned pro in the space, it's always nice to kind of dip into what other folks are working on. And even just watching you now and doing your design work or even talking about your design process, that's always quite a nice insight to
Mhm.
other folks operate. So yeah, it's been a pleasure. So talk us through what you're working on now. I see Taffy popping up now. So
Yes. Saltwater taffy. Obviously, we
there
have
we
to,
go.
shout
Which I've
out.
never had before, but there we go. I
Oh
need
my
to. Am I
gosh,
missing
you
out? Am I
have
missing
to.
out?
It's so good. Like you just go. to like basically any boardwalk in New Jersey,
Mm.
and they just have like tubs, these like barrels
That wouldn't
of
be safe around me, I don't
flavors.
think.
No, yeah, it's like barrels of like different flavors to try, and
Okay.
it's just so good.
I see
So,
myself being like the human Pac-Man, you know, like waka waka waka, just like along the high street. It wouldn't be great. Wouldn't be great for no one. No one wants to see that. So yeah, we've got some great comments as well. We've got Cameron, I should say Cameron, who said, "Yes, I loving Adobe Live. This is where I learned a lot as well.
mhm.
Awesome. So nice. Thanks for tuning in, my friend. Especially if you also are very new to Adobe Live. So welcome. And again, any questions you have for the lovely Nina, design process, what she's working on now, tools you want to see, please do get those in the chat and I will share that with her.
Cool. I don't know what happens to my brush, but we'll work it out. Or maybe this is enough for a pattern. I don't know. This does feel very Jersey already. I feel
Very
like the
Jersey.
taffy really pulled it together. Let me see if there's
Yeah.
anything.
I would have said the
I would.
Spider-Man glasses, but that's just me being it's not
Oh,
even
I do have to
Spider-Man
fix.
related, is it? Sorry.
I do have to fix the glasses. Hold on, give me a sec. But
No,
I
no,
have to
keep
add
them.
like its little lines. Um, I might add the little ticket for the ride. I don't know. And maybe arcade, but I don't know if that's too. I want to make like a little background of stuff, but I feel like
Nice.
6 elements might be fine. Let's see.
It's funny because when you get your pattern and obviously you space them out, expand them, it might not see as much, it might not seem as much, I should say, when you start to expand.
Yeah.
But depends. Each to their own. Ah, we
Oh,
got Voodoo Val. The wonderful Voodoo Val said she's loving the ticket. So there we go.
yeah, because I feel like the boardwalk, there's always rides and stuff. Like there's the what's that thing that goes in a circle? Ferris wheel. There's that. There's the
Yeah.
thing that like it literally just like it's like a cyclone. It just like spins around. A lot of spinning on the boardwalk.
Okay.
A lot of spinning rides. So right now I'm gonna fill this in with black, but this is something that I learned forever ago because I'm using a textured brush, and usually when you select something, I don't know if you could see the marching ants here. It's a little hard to see, but usually when you fill it in, it leaves that little outline. And if you don't want that you keep your selection. You go to at the top, select, modify, expand, and then oh, it's on the other screen. Um, and then this is where you kind of play around depending on like what brush you're using. Like 5 pixels was way too much for me, but it's
Mm,
just gonna expand your selection. So I did 2 pixels and then I filled it in, and now it's like completely blacked out. So
nice.
it just helps. Yeah. Ooh. So I'm gonna add some little streaks in here. I'm actually gonna make it a couple.
Got a few folks sharing what their favorite tool is, which I love to see. Keeping it all creative. Amy said modify
Yeah,
expand is the best and best in capital letters, I must add.
I love it. I actually made different actions for it. Like
Ah,
I have
okay.
modify expand for like 2 pixels, 5 pixels, 10 pixels.
Cool.
I
Okay.
I've been on this like Photoshop uh Photoshop actions era lately. There's just something about
Nice.
Photoshop actions that I'm like, why haven't I used this earlier?
That's your thing. It's cool when
Yeah.
you discover a new something, whether it's a tool, an action, but it just streamlines your process, right? And it's almost like, yeah, the
And
old
you're
me,
just like, oh, where
yeah.
where was this? So I'm gonna remove this little like spot up here of the white. I'm gonna add like a little outline to the glasses. So I just put in on top of the white clipping mask, I added a mask, and then I'm just gonna draw over it to like mask out and give it like a little shape to it. And no, I am not gonna I'm not gonna name my layers. I
I
am
I mean I love that you just dropped that. It's like he asks about colors. He can ask about naming as well.
no,
No,
yeah, I
no,
was
no.
like, you
Each
know
to their
what?
own. You
Yeah.
do you. You do
Unless
you.
unless I'm handing the files off to someone else, like they're
Nice.
gonna
That's what I like to
stay
hear.
chaotic. Yeah, they're gonna stay
That's
chaotic unless someone else is gonna see this. And then I get
see.
embarrassed and I'm like, oh no, they can't look
Yeah, I
over
love that you're
this.
thinking of others as well. You're thinking of the end game, right? Like if I've got to send it to another freelancer, at least they won't suffer in the chaoticness of my files. But I like that. And we've got, it's funny because we've got a few people in the chat now saying guilt. Well, Maria said guilty as charged. Um, yeah, you know who you are, people, but it's all good. It's all good. If you think about other people, it's always helpful if you think about others when you send files. We've got a question here for you, Nina,
Yeah.
when you're in a good space to answer it.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. So we got Amy who said, so going back to, I guess, when you were showing us your website with all your different projects and case studies, the Adult Swim project in particular, Amy's asked,
Hmm.
how fun is it to get to do projects with Adult Swim?
Oh, it's so fun. It's fun and like a little scary because they kind of let you do whatever you want. So it's kind of like,
Best client
oh,
ever.
I really have free reign. And then you're like you get so excited, you're like, I have free reign. And then you're like, I have free reign. Like I could do whatever I want. And that's so exciting and so terrifying. So it's really
Yeah.
cool and very exciting. And it's also a little spooky and scary because you're just like, are they gonna like this? Like, is this gonna
Mm,
be accepted by the Adult Swim community? And then it is, and people like it, and you're like, oh, okay. I overthought it for nothing.
I love that. I'm quite curious to know, and this is a question for yourself, Nina, but also the chat.
Hmm.
Do you think folks are more wanting to have a client where they let you do anything you want, or one with a bit more restraint? And I know it's like an obvious question, but I guess when you have anything, you can do anything you want, then it's a bit of a there's too much option potentially, or you're a bit stuck on where you begin. But I guess if you've got some restraints, you can kind of keep it within the parameters slightly. I don't know if that makes um yeah, it's almost like I can only describe it or analogy of like going into a shop with like unlimited amount of money and buying anything you want, but you're just standing there like I don't know what to start with first, right? So
Hmm.
then, yeah. I mean, what's your ideal client in a way? Is it like an Adult Swim, or is it like more someone who's a bit more guidelines to kind of follow?
I mean, working with Adult Swim has always been fun. Um, and I guess depending on the producer, like they'll give
Hmm.
you some guidelines and other ones will be like, do whatever you want, like you have free reign. Um, but yeah, I like stuff with like a little bit of structure because I feel
Hmm.
like I need like parameters to work in
Yeah.
for something to be successful. And also, I don't know if you know like Jack White or the White Stripes, but
Yeah, of course.
he has talked about like giving himself parameters to work in on purpose because he feels like it gives more creativity. So like he'll
Hmm.
limit like the instruments or like for us, like it could be a color palette and just be like, oh, okay, now if you have three colors, how are you gonna make a design out of this or an illustration out of this?
Hmm.
So I like that idea of like limiting yourself
Hmm.
and seeing how you can make something out of it.
I guess the
And
the sweet spot could be, I mean, if you're, and this is for anyone maybe if they're quite curious about jumping into the freelance world, if they're maybe a graduate or student, is when you're working in a client space, you probably have some level of parameters, brand guidelines, whatnot. But when you want to do stuff, say, completely flexible, that's when you maybe do your self-directed projects, right? Or side hustles. Because then there isn't really a structure because you set your own bars. So in a way, it's kind of nice to kind of dip in and dip out into both worlds of strict and not so strict. Um, yeah, I'm also good. I can see a lot of folks kind of sharing their opinion in the chat. We've got Val who said, when a client says do whatever, it's exciting, but sometimes you feel a bit lost. If you give me at least a theme, yeah, I can totally relate. It's like, tell me what you. It's like that meme. I don't know. Is it Ryan Gosling? It's like, tell me what you want. It's like, no. It's like, what do you want? Off piece. We've got another one from Maria who said, I think that full freedom can make you drown. A little bit of guidance
ooh,
is good. Yes, totally can relate. Nice. Keep them coming
oh,
in, friends.
definitely.
Keep this coming in the chat. Nice comments. So talk us through what we're looking at now. It's looking good. Nice selection of stuff.
Yes. So we're just making some little doodles and arranging them almost like a little sticker sheet.
Nice.
Um, and then I'm just gonna save this.
There's a
And
serious shine on those glasses, by the way. I have to.
oh yeah, they gotta be shiny.
That's
They gotta look
of
cool. Because I mean, listen, it's hot at the beach, you know?
course.
You gotta be ready. So I'm just gonna drag this into Illustrator. Doesn't okay. Do you do you work in Illustrator?
I do, but InDesign is my baby. I am
Oh,
in
I mean,
that
I
realm
love
of.
InDesign. I love InDesign. But when I work in Illustrator,
Yeah.
turn I turn off
Oh yeah,
the
artboards.
artboard. Yeah.
Yeah, I have to do that too.
Yeah. I
Parameters,
can't
right?
do
On that top. I don't know whether it is just like the boxed in. Like, my brain needs to see more space on the
that.
edges. Yes.
So right now I'm just image tracing it and I'm gonna open up I don't really use too much of the advanced options. Sometimes I just like to have it open because it makes me feel important. Um, but
Nice.
I'll just like play around with this and like see what details I can pull
I mean,
from
you should feel
this.
you're on Adobe Live, so you should feel definitely really important now. I'm just
Oh
saying.
yeah.
Just
I don't know what I'm
Queen.
clicking right now, guys. I'm just clicking things.
And we're loving what you're
Um,
clicking as well, so you're good for it. You're good for it.
yeah, I think this looks pretty okay. I feel like I'm just looking for things to look like relatively clear.
Hmm.
And they do. So like I could see the text, I could see the little lines in here. If I made it more noisy, like things start getting filled
Hmm.
in. So I'm just gonna bring it
And the A,
to
you
a
can see the A was a
low.
bit mad on the A on the soda.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We say mad here too.
Is that good or is that bad? It's like
It means like very
okay, okay,
here.
cool. I'm being
Yeah.
educated from lingo across the Atlantic or across the ocean, I should
Although,
say.
yeah, like New Jersey lingo is so interesting because mad is like technically New York. So if you're in
Okay.
North Jersey, you'll get a lot of New York lingo, but like if you're in South Jersey, you'll get a lot of Philly lingo. So it's like the difference between Taylor ham and pork roll. You know, people fight about it all the time, but they're talking about the same type of meat. But
Fair.
like or like a sub and a hoagie, like you're both just talking about a sandwich.
I had no idea
So
what hokey was, by the way, but yeah, there we go.
oh yeah, hoagie I think is
You're talking to
a
a British
Philly
person,
word.
so I don't know.
Yeah,
Ah,
hoagie's
okay,
a
cool,
British
cool,
word.
cool. I know hokey cokey, but anyway, that's a whole different ball game. Yeah, cool. So let's go off piece there. Sorry, so
So
it's looking good.
yeah, I expanded my illustration and then
Hmm.
I'm gonna ungroup it. And this is a trick I learned recently, but I'm gonna select, oh wait, when I ungroup things, I like hit the ungroup like a million times, but I'm gonna select this white layer here. Actually, let me move this to the gray background so you guys can see. So I'm going to select this white layer and then I'm going to go to select same fill color and just delete it and it'll delete all of
Nice.
those white spots. And then I can go in and just select anything I want. I use the Q tool for the lasso, which is so helpful. So
Nice.
I just select everything here. Oh wait. Okay, I didn't use the lasso there. Pretend I used the lasso. I'm gonna use the lasso here for like the
Have you
weird
got a
angles and
it's
stuff.
random. Have you got a favorite tool in Illustrator
Oh,
that
a
you like to use?
favorite?
You can live yeah.
Lately it's been the pencil tool. I feel
Yeah,
like
cool.
yeah, a little bit of a
Hmm.
resurgence with the pencil tool. I like going in and like double clicking and playing between these, like how accurate or smooth you want things to be. Because I just did a whole illustration and I did it in Illustrator, but I wanted that hand-drawn look. So I would kind of
Hmm.
play with that setting and see how smooth or how not smooth I want things to look. So that's been my go-to recently. Oops.
Nice.
So yeah, just grouping all of these. And this is going to be for the background. We're going to play with some type and see what we can make with that. Yeah,
Nice.
these are little
Whilst you're
glasses.
doing that, it's a nice time to mention about half an hour into the stream. And if you have just joined
Mhm.
us, welcome. We have the wonderful designer Nina from New Jersey, and we're working on a New Jersey summer postcard influence design using Illustrator and a bit of Photoshop. So welcome if you
Mhm.
just joined us. And any questions you have for the wonderful Nina, please do get those in the YouTube or Behance chat. I think we've opened the floodgates, Nina, to when we were speaking about Illustrator, we mentioned InDesign, and there's a few InDesign comments popping up now, and there's like the main thing seems to be a love-hate relationship with that. But obviously we'll stick in Illustrator, but it's always interesting to know what folks like the different programs people have like an affiliation to, or ones that is like a soft spot.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, I think
yeah.
InDesign was like the first program I really learned, which is so
Mm.
funny because I feel like people always go to like Photoshop first.
Yes,
Um,
so
but
true.
yeah, InDesign was like my first dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm loving the comments in the chat. But yeah, today's all about Illustrator. So any questions you have or things you want to see actually, if you even but if you want to see Nina work on something or something that you could give some advice on, please do let us know. We'd love to hear it.
Yeah, we're gonna make a pattern, which is gonna be fun. We're gonna customize type, which is gonna be fun.
Oh,
So right
okay.
now I'm using the pencil tool um to just smooth out these lines
Nice.
here. So I just select what I want to work on, and then I press N for the shortcut, and I just like draw on it. It's
It's something
that
quite
easy.
satisfying, right? Seeing that just smooth out, just like it's like
Oh
almost
yeah.
ironing a shirt and then just yeah.
That's the best
So
way to put
random.
it.
I don't know where that came from. It just came to mind. Maybe because I ironed my shirt this morning, but it just came to like behind those creases. Like it feels
And
so nice to see pleasant.
when you were ironing that shirt, you were like, wow, this is exactly like using the pencil tool.
Exactly that. And I thought I want to use this line today for Nina's stream, and boom, I've used it. So there we go. There we go. A win.
Yeah. And then I'm just gonna smooth this little. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes like I feel like depending on how clean your illustration is, like obviously my illustration had so much texture, which I
Mm,
wanted. Um, but the cleaner your illustration is, the better your image trace is gonna look.
true.
So, yeah, just keep that in
I
mind
guess
if you
though,
guys
if it
use
depends if it's your
image
style though,
trace.
right?
Oh yeah,
Like maybe if it's your
definitely.
style, yeah.
Yeah, so I like using something like a rougher pen or brush to
Mm,
use image trace, but then you kind of have to go in and like clean up some lines and stuff. But I feel like these will be small enough where I don't know if you're really gonna see it. Like you can't really see it too much here, and they're gonna be like pretty small.
mm,
So okay, not that small. They're gonna be a little small. Um, but then you could customize it from there.
nice.
So I'm gonna throw these on the side for a little bit, or you know what? I'm gonna give them their own layer. I'm
Oh,
gonna name the
okay.
layers this time, just for the stream.
Well, so we're being treated, my friends, to named layers. I love it.
So we're gonna
Uh,
go do some type. Yeah, this is like full service. Like you get named
This is what you
layers in
get.
Illustrator.
Love it. We're very grateful.
So yeah, I wanted to do something um there's like those famous like if you look up like vintage postcards, it's always like greetings from wherever.
Mm,
And there's the ones that say like greetings from Asbury Park. Um or greetings from Atlantic City or Point Pleasant. So those are like different Jersey Shore towns and
mm.
beaches. So this is actually the font I wanted to use. I have no idea how to pronounce it.
Yeah, what font
Marini?
is that? My eyes are being very small, but yeah, okay. Yeah.
I don't know. It's it's like that.
Okay.
I don't know how to pronounce it.
How
If
did you
anyone can
just
like oh. So this is an Adobe font. I have
nice.
I think almost like all my fonts are just Adobe Fonts. What I really love about like the font selection tool on here,
Mm,
besides obviously using Adobe Fonts, is that it has the same like search. parameters that you could use
Yes.
on the website too. So this is literally what you would see on the website if you go to like I think it's fonts.adobe.com and you
Mm,
browse, and then this is what you can look for. So I wanted to look for a sans serif that was like kind of juicy, and I was just scrolling through and I think I found this through another font because when you click on a font on Adobe, like on the website on Adobe Fonts, I think maybe I'll just pull it up. Like if you go, we're already on here. If you go on here and you go to browse all at the top. But yeah, you just have like all these parameters that you can look through. And you
nice.
can, if you're looking for like a specific style, or you're looking for like, you want a sans serif, or you want a
Mm,
handwritten font, you want something like condensed. Um, so yeah, you could find some cool fonts and then
mm.
you could just click through, and then sometimes they'll have
Recommendations.
recommendations.
Nice.
And then other times too, they'll have another section that gives you suggestions to pair with the font. So if you have a typeface that you're just like, I don't know how to pair this, like sometimes that font itself will have font suggestions to pair it with. And it's like a good
Mm,
jumping off point. So I think I found this font through like one of these suggestions when I was looking through typefaces. But yeah,
nice.
you get the same little filter thing up here. So you can look and see like what you want instead of just like doom scrolling through all
I
these
do
fonts
love
and
that
you're just
feature.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's super helpful. And then if you have like fonts that you buy yourself, you can also uh you can also just look for Adobe fonts if you want specifically. So I think I'm gonna do like greetings from the Jersey Shore, I think.
Mm.
And right now I'm just closing up tightening up the leading by using Option Command and then pressing like up and down on the keyboard.
Nice.
So
I like how the letters kind of, especially the Y, kind of sits in quite nicely in between above the IE
yeah,
there. Yeah.
yeah, it's super nice. I like this typeface also because I feel like this is like I'm a very big bubble letter person, so I feel like this kind of satisfies the
Mm,
need for bubble letters, you know? So I'm gonna go into type and then glyphs, and we're gonna see if we can find any fun stuff.
nice.
So
I
I'm
think I
using
need
the
a pair of those,
italic.
your shades that you've got as you're drawing
Yeah.
one of your because I can see in the chat. I think because I've got light coming through my window. Actually, it's I realized the light, but for you guys must be seeing it. So yeah, a pair of shades is. So I apologize if my face looks a bit odd every now and again with the lighting, but it's very hot in Spain. So there we go. This is the beauty of live stream. So yeah, give me a pair of those shades, Nina. I wouldn't mind a
Oh,
pair of those just to
definitely. I'll
block out the
overnight
sun.
it. Um, this gives like a little different terminal at the top. I think it's called a terminal if it's at the top. I don't know. I'm not too hip on my type lingo, but we'll see. I
There's
just
probably a
like
stream for that
scrolling
though, right? You
through.
can probably watch a stream based on that. So yeah, go for it.
Oh, a
I'm
hundred
just flagging it.
percent. I would be surprised if there wasn't. Um, what I like about scrolling through, I feel like there's like this little wonder of like extra little things going on here on the glyphs panel. Like you could find really cool stuff. So I like something like this. I'm gonna group this and I'm gonna close this for now. And I'm gonna go to the appearance tab here. So I'll just bring this out. I click effects and I'll go to warp because I want it to have that little like rising effects.
Mm,
So I usually play between like flag and rise.
okay. Like waves,
Um,
like or
yeah, not super wave. Well, maybe like a slight wave, like
mm,
just like a little like
like a sort
whoosh
of slant.
going.
Yeah.
Yeah, little going up, but not just like tilting it, 30 degrees or whatever. Sometimes I played between these two.
Like type with
Um,
swagger. I like it.
yeah. Then I'll just go through that and see what I like. And the thing that I like about the appearance tab is that I can always go back and just edit however I like. Like if I think something is too strong or not strong enough, I could just like keep playing around.
Mm.
So maybe drop it down a little. I don't know. So
Mm,
now I
that's
have some
cool.
space here. Greetings from the Jersey Shore. Um, I want kind of like a little classic font to put here, like little old school.
By the way, do you collect greeting cards in general? Like, is that kind of your thing when you go travels, or
I try to
where had you?
collect I try to collect just like anything, like little cheap souvenirs.
Mm.
I went to I was in Atlantic City. I didn't grab a souvenir from Atlantic City, which I was so bummed about. But I wanted to grab like the little casino magnet. Because
Nice.
I feel like that's like, that's that shore town is just like
Mm.
casino. But yeah, I grab usually like a card or just something like shot glass, something like not to drink,
Shots of
not even
shot.
to drink,
No
not
judgment.
even to
Like
drink
shots
out
of
of.
lemonade. Are we talking?
Yeah, no, yeah, a little shot of lemonade
Coca-Cola.
just to display on,
Quick
Um,
disclaimer, live on stream.
yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes.
cool.
Um, but yeah, I don't know, maybe I'll use the
Oh, that was
brush
cool.
script.
Yeah,
It's like a little cheesy to use, but
yeah.
like
That's the style though, right?
who
Like I feel
knows?
like it's so cheesy it works. That's the
It
thing.
works.
Like it's just
But I feel like I
yeah.
need to add the greetings from
Okay.
the Jersey Shore. I don't know if this is like
I'm quite curious.
too
Do you folks let us know
cheesy.
in the chat? Do you collect postcards? Or what things do you collect when you're on travels, actually? It's always nice to know if that's a
Or
thing.
just
Like,
like
yeah.
tchotchkes. I like little tchotchkes, like anything. Oh,
Tchotchkes.
magnets is a big one. Just like a
Yeah.
magnet.
Yeah, I've got I generally actually get a magnet every time I travel for grandparents, but yeah, that's like and it's like a
Yeah.
fridge is just covered in fridge magnets of yeah.
Yeah.
What's a tchotchke though? I don't know what tchotchke
Oh, they're like little
for anyone.
knickknacks, like little, I don't know,
Okay.
little doodads.
It's the
I
link.
don't
It's the
know.
lingo again, isn't it?
It's the
It's always a thing with these
lingo.
streams. Sorry, I'm the silly one for not knowing.
No, it's okay. I'm learning
You're learning a scamps, isn't
English.
it? Yeah,
Yeah,
there we go.
English lingo. We
Yeah,
have
for anyone tuning in, you didn't think you'd be learning different lingos and being inspired at the same time. It's a full shebang stream today.
Yeah,
Love it.
definitely. So I'm gonna see if there's any glyphs here. I'll click alternates. Sometimes they'll like pop up here, if anything, but entire font. I don't know if there's any glyphs for this one. I think this might be a little more basic. Sometimes when you go through typefaces, they'll like type designers
Yeah,
will add like a bunch of stuff here at the bottom.
I'm so
But
grateful for those like glyphs, especially ones where it's like a sign off stroke, so it works more as
mm-hmm.
like a kind of underline tool. Yeah, I appreciate
Yeah.
those.
Greetings from the Jersey Shore, New Jersey. Okay. Gonna group this. Should we ask the chat for like color theme suggestions? Because I don't know what I want to
Oh
use.
yes, I feel like we could. I mean, I don't. Do you have any few in mind, and then we can do like a little poll because that's always everyone's
Oh,
going on a bit of a treat. So,
maybe
or just for
like
in fact, yeah. What do
maybe
you think?
like beach, like just beach. Like a sandy color and a blue,
Okay.
like a ocean theme, like
Mm.
sandy blue. Um,
Oh, there we go. We
uh,
got Val. We mentioned the word
yeah.
poll, and already the chat is gonna.
The
I'm
polls
scared the
up?
internet's gonna blow up. Yeah, possibly because when we do a poll in Adobe Live, it goes a little bit
Oh, it goes a
chaotic, but
little
in a good way.
wild.
A bit
Yeah.
well. I mean, we've already got. See, there we go. We've got pink with fire with like a fire
Oh,
emoji. I
pink.
mean, there we go.
That'd be fun.
Um, what we could do is maybe throw a few. I guess throw some suggestions in the chat, friends, of like colors, and then maybe when we do a few, you can maybe pick out which ones and do a poll based on that potentially.
Yeah,
So,
that'd be
yeah.
cool.
Yeah. I always love like Adobe Color as well. Adobe Cooler. It used to be called Cooler. Adobe
Yeah,
Color, where it's just like yeah, you just like put the themes in and it kind of like churns out different color palettes,
they used
which is
to
awesome.
they used to have that thing, or am I like misremembering? Wasn't there a thing where you could like take a picture and it would select colors? Or I don't know
Is that
if
a
I'm
thing?
like misremembering something.
No,
Does
that could
anyone
be.
in the
I feel like
chat
that would be
know?
a thing. Yeah, I
Yeah, I
know it's
feel
with
like
fonts.
that's
With fonts is a thing. Like you could take a picture of like
oh yeah.
a typeface, yeah, and then it will spit that. So
You
you would
could
have
drop it
thought.
in.
Yeah. Let us know in
Yeah.
the chat. Let us know, moderators as well in the chat if that's a thing. Yeah, it is definitely a thing. Of course it's a thing. It's Adobe. It's
Yeah.
definitely a thing. Adobe Capture it's called.
Yes.
There we go. Boom.
I'm
We were
gonna
thinking it and they've
outline.
already made it within the space of us thinking it just then. That's
Yeah,
AI pretty much.
exactly.
That's AI pretty much.
So I'm gonna outline this font.
Hmm.
So now you see live type because there's underlines. So I'm gonna press Command Shift O. I always have to double check now before I say something because like I don't, it's like muscle memory with the keyboard. So I'm like,
Hmm.
oh, you just press you just press this. And I always have to check what I'm pressing. But yeah, I'm gonna hit because we still have the warp effect on and I
Hmm.
want to expand that. So I'm going to click expand and now this is it. Like the warp effect is like permanently on here.
Nice.
So I'm going to copy this and I'm going to hit the option button and drag this. We're going to see how it looks with the drop shadow.
Hmm. We
So,
have got a suggestion as well. I think we've got a few suggestions actually, but I'll put it out there in terms
well,
of the colors. We have got potentially candy colors. So I guess
oh,
candy, I haven't used that word in a while. So like sweets, right? Sweets, candy, I love it.
yeah.
Tomato, tomato. Yeah, so I guess like pinks and like I mean that's kind of candy vibes, no? I guess.
Yeah.
Like candy floss,
Yes, cotton
which I've
candy.
never had before. Never had that before, yeah.
Really?
I know I've lived in a cave. I don't know what's going on. I
Oh
need.
my
Do you know what? I don't know if it's an
gosh.
American thing, but what's that apple? So I'm gonna go off piece, but slightly not too much. But
No,
it's like an
yeah.
apple with like toffee on it or caramel apple. Is that a thing? I've seen it in
Yeah,
like
that thing,
American movies.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that thing
Halloween though. Yeah,
I haven't had that because that looks like it'll like just break your
destroy your
tooth or
body. Yeah.
something. It looks like it'll hurt to eat.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Let us know in
let's
the chat if it's worth
see.
it if you had one of those.
Yeah,
But yeah, going back to design anyway.
please. I'm
Let's look at the
so
drop shadow.
curious. So yeah, I used the blend tool. So I have
Mm.
this as like the bottom layer and this as the top layer. So I just go to Object Blend Options and you can add how many steps you want. Um, and what's cool about it is that if you double click it and double click again, you could like it's
Oh
still
wow.
flexible.
Okay.
Like you could keep moving it.
You're gonna
So we'll
make it
see how
pop.
that
Sorry,
looks.
terrible client. No, make it pop. What every designer likes to have from the client. We've got
That's
some more.
always the
Oh,
joke.
cool. Make it pop. We've got
Yeah.
a suggestion by Cameron, neon lime. I mean, that would definitely make it.
Oh.
There we go. I like your style, people. Just keep them coming.
That is
Some nice color
so
suggestions.
like anything neon, I feel like is so like 80s New Jersey. Like hair, big hair, everything, bright
Yeah.
colors, all that stuff. So I just copied this over here. I'm still keeping this in case I want to like keep it flat.
Cool.
But I'm gonna group this type together, just the Jersey Shore type, and then I'm
Mm,
gonna add a stroke. Whoa, that went nuts. I'm gonna outline it and then add a stroke. We'll do that first.
nice.
So I'm gonna save a copy. I always like
Oh,
saving
that
a
works really
live
well.
copy. Yeah. I feel like I always need to save a live copy just because I'm like, wait, what if I change my mind? What if I
Are
don't,
you
what
a
if I,
I've got a question. Are you a kind of V1, V2, V3 kind of
oh my
person?
gosh, 100%.
Okay.
I need to like have different iterations and like different versions.
Yeah.
Like I have so many artboards whenever I'm working because I'm just like, oh, but what if I like this and I need to go back to it? I need the live version.
Uh,
So I expanded this so now you can actually see every layer and then you just unite it and
nice.
I'm
Nice.
going to, I think it's Command 8 to make a compound path. Or wait, I think I wasn't supposed to do that. I think it was just the compound path on this. So I'll show you why I do that. If
Mhm.
I add a stroke, sometimes it happens and sometimes it doesn't. So maybe it doesn't happen this time. Okay, it does. So you see how like the stroke is overlapping here and we don't want
Mm,
that. So if you go to compound path and make, it'll
nice.
bring all the main type to the front and the stroke to the back. I don't
Mm.
really know how that works or why it works, but it works. So like you just
The
do it and
magic
you're
that
like,
is
okay. Yeah.
Illustrator.
I feel like that's usually me working in any program. I'm just like, I don't really know like how this solves it, but it works. So,
It reads your
and I'm
minds and
just
then churns out a
yeah,
design without you realizing.
yeah. I'm just deleting all these like little like this little one. Oops.
Mm,
Just deleting these just to get it out of the way.
nice.
So, I'm going to add a stroke here. Um, maybe 5 point. I don't know. We'll do the same one here. Oh, and if you click stroke, you can click the shape, like the,
Mm.
not the shape, how you want to align it. So if you want it on the outside, the inside, or the center. So let me just change the color too, because it's not the same black. Or it should be an off black too. Wait, did we decide on a color palette?
We had a few. We had like, because I feel like there was
Then
like three versions. There was the neon, right?
there's
Neon
the
green.
neon. That could be
The
fun. Okay,
candy
maybe
floss one. I think it's
can't
candy floss. Which is
candy.
kind of
Okay,
this
cotton
one
like
though,
cotton
a
candy.
little bit.
Yeah, it's giving a little like cotton candy vibe. Maybe we'll
Candy
do
vibes.
cotton
And
candy. Yeah.
there was another one as well. I'm gonna frantically scroll up and try and find them. Through the abyss, that is the Q&A chat, which I love. Neon. There was pink, but I feel like that comes under the candy floss one.
Oh, that definitely
Um,
yeah, like falls under.
does that fall, does that come under the category? I don't know the
Yeah.
candy politics
Well,
here, but yeah.
there's also yeah, there's also blue cotton candy. I feel like those are the popular.
Okay. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Yeah. Oh, you got to get
Let
into
us know,
the
yeah.
candy
Yeah.
floss
I have
scene.
no teeth left though. I don't know if I can operate to
Oh,
be that.
you don't need teeth to eat it.
You don't need
That's the
teeth.
beauty.
Okay. That's even worse though. Just I think you had
It
teeth
just
until you
melts in your
until you ate
mouth.
it.
But yeah, all
I
right. So these are like the
yes.
main colors and then I
Yeah.
like to maybe I'll darken it a little bit. So yeah, I'll like
Cool.
bring this
We've got a
here.
Val in the chat. He said, "Are we doing a poll?" I think we are. We're gonna possibly do. You haven't missed it yet. No, no, don't worry. You definitely haven't missed it. I think the plan is, and let me know if I'm right, Nina. We're gonna do maybe a few color options, and then maybe pick basically those
Oh,
three or
definitely.
four for the chat. Yeah. So
Definitely.
we'll get them
It's
out
gonna
there, and then
be
we'll put it to the chat.
It's gonna be kind of like a more basic color palette, which is I like I mentioned before with like the Jack White thing was that he said like
Mm,
work with like more basic palettes and stuff like that. So I
mm,
like to do that too, just to,
cool.
not overwhelm myself. But this would be
Yeah.
the candy floss.
We've got
And
Alessandra, who I think is just joined as well. So hey, Alessandra, hope you're good. And she's asked, what about pastel purple? Which I feel like if you was to do like a color wheel based on what you've got now, that purple could easily. There we go. Boom.
yeah, it's
Didn't even
like
have to finish my
well it's not
sentence. It's already
pastel, but
there.
yeah.
Already there.
Okay, wait, let me go back to pink. I feel like I need like a darker, like I don't like using black and white. Always do like an off.
Yeah. Like eggshell, like I'm the same
Yeah.
actually. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm
Cream
gonna
or
go
something.
up
Yeah.
here.
It's all about the
Something just a little
black and
dark.
then the opacity tint slightly, isn't it? Like a 90% tint. It's the
Yes.
little things that
Yeah.
us designers love.
There's definitely okay, there's also like a million ways to like play with the color palette and make a color palette. And I'm definitely doing it in a more chaotic way. But yeah, I think that's the interesting thing about like these types of live streams and like or just tutorials and stuff like that is like you could see how everyone's brain kind of works and
Hmm.
see like, oh, interesting, that's how you solve
Yeah.
that, or
And that's the beauty.
uh,
I think that's why, if you are just kind of watching, Adobe Live for the very first time, I mean, this is exactly why we do these streams so that you're able to get an insight into designers, design methodology, the design process. It's all live. So again, things must happen, mistakes happen. That's all good. That's the beauty of the process. So yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head there, Nina, because it's all about experimenting the design process and each to their own.
yeah.
Oh, we have got some new people actually. We've got Daniela who said, I am new. So welcome. Watch a few more
Hi.
streams. And that's probably a nice time to give a little update because we're about an hour into the stream now
Oh my
already, which is
gosh,
time has
already.
flown by. So if you are just tuning in, welcome. If you're on YouTube or Behance, massive welcome. And we have got the wonderful Nina, who is designing a Jersey Shore influenced design on Illustrator, a bit of Photoshop. So right now we're in that
Yes.
stage of color palette. So yeah, welcome. And again, any questions about Nina, design process, what she's working on, why she likes Jersey Shore, anything, let us know in the chat and we'll share that in the chat. Welcome.
So I'm gonna hit the. Oh,
This is
I'm
the
gonna
greatest, is
do.
the best comment I think of today. We've got Penny who said some days color palettes go a little bit feral and it works out anyway.
Yeah,
So true.
definitely.
It's wild. Cannot be tamed palettes, but we love them anyway. Gotta have fun with it.
I'm gonna keep like the same values essentially and just switch the slider on the side. I feel like that's so this is like that neon green. Maybe not super neon. You can make it a little more neon. Um, I might do like a yellow version too to match with
Mm,
this. I don't know, we'll see.
mix it up.
Yeah. Dark yellow always looks a little weird.
Mm,
Like
mm.
not golden, like that weird, I don't know,
That
trying to
weird.
find like a
Yeah.
good dark yellow. Was this the only ones or was there was something
So
else,
there
right? We
was
had the
there
pink.
was a lilac, there was a pink, there was neon, which you've got, and I mean maybe one more, but let us know in the chat. Would you like to what color palette or even like a theme you can throw out there so we can think of a color
Yeah.
palette? Let us know. Um, yeah, curious to know. I think you mentioned Sandy, right? Did you mention that was the very
Oh yeah, yeah,
first
yeah.
Sandy Beach? I think you
Sandy.
said.
I feel like
Yeah.
this alone could be sandy. And then if
Mm,
I do like this, like go into that yellow orangey spot,
mm.
I could find this like off kind of like yeah, like you said, like eggshell off white, you know.
Sunset Boulevard, kind of like color palette. Yeah. These funky names, we love it.
Cool. Oh, and before I get into the pattern making, I do want to try, I'm gonna expand this. Okay, again, I'm gonna be like insane and just make a copy because I have to have copies of everything. But I'm gonna expand the appearance and I'm gonna go in here and expand this too. Can't tell if it's expanded or not. Sometimes you have to like click it a million times for it to fully expand. But yeah, I just did Command X to like cut the jersey, and then I'm pressing Command F to paste it back. Oh, see, I messed it up. I'm gonna press. What's that? Do you get like sometimes a little afraid of the Pathfinder tool? Like sometimes I'm like so
Yes.
confident with it, and other times, okay, now I got it. Sometimes
It's funny.
I am so confident with it, and then other times I'm like, wait, did I just like totally click the wrong one? So I use the divide tool just to
Mm,
break everything up, so that we wouldn't have like weird layering going on. But
mm.
I'm gonna do select same fill color, group this. I'm gonna cut it. I'm gonna merge this all together. Press the unite tool. Okay, now it works. Now it looks good. There's like a little part up here that looks a little funky. And then what else? I think that's it. I'm
Hmm.
gonna take the lasso tool and just delete all this. Kind of leave it like this. Or should I don't know. Should I not? I don't know. What do you think?
You call it. You call it. I mean, this is. I don't want to be that creative director behind you, like with you like over your hand, moving your. I will. You take your lead.
You know what? I'll just
Um.
cut this out
hmm.
because I feel like we could cut this and like leave a little.
Yeah, it's funny because I was looking at that a lot, and it's weird because it was quite tiny in those parts, and then you got that big gap in between the H and O,
Yeah.
right? So yeah, it was a little bit jarring on that front, but yeah, now I see it. Works well that way.
I'm gonna arc this a little bit. We'll see what happens here. What I like too is I could turn this on and off, the warp
Nice.
on the
Yeah,
appearance tab.
it's got the option.
Yeah. Oh, let's close
You made
this
me
a
laugh about the
little.
Pathfinder. We had the Pathfinder tool actually. We had this same exact thing on a stream a few months back, and it was literally it's like getting a gift, but you don't know what's in. You got like an idea of what it could be, but you have no idea really what's in it, and it's just like, yeah. I mean, people obviously know what they press when they click on it, but sometimes you just
Yeah.
never know, right? And it's like
I
a
know,
happy
and
accident.
yeah, it's like, oh wait, which one do I click? Do I click like
Yeah.
minus front, divide? Like what do I click? But you
I mean,
kind
the
of just
images are
click
kind of there
around.
for us, but still, you just click around, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you just click and see like what works. You're like, oh, okay. This one works. I feel like I'm very confident with the Unite. I think it's Unite tool. Actually, what I love is that shape builder tool. That one's
Oh,
really
yeah.
cool.
Hmm.
Um, where you could just like throw a bunch of shapes in together and like press Shift M, I think it is, and just like mess around with it. And how big is this typeface? Oh,
Nina, just a flag. We've got some some very, very sad news of the day, I'm afraid.
oh no, what
It
happened?
seems as though Val's poll powers are not working today, so we're unable to do a poll on the
Oh
chat, which
no.
usually works. Which I know Val will definitely go to bed crying tonight, thinking of that, and I will too. But we can always still throw out in the chat what we like. So when you've got your option one, two, and three, maybe we'll do like an overview. People can see it, and then we can just I'll say shout, but basically put a number in your chat and press enter, and then we can
Yes.
see which one is the most. No worries, Val. It's all good. It's all good. They'll come back. Your powers will come back. I'm sure they will. Sure they will.
Oh, definitely.
So yeah.
I'm gonna tilt these a little more just to like hug it a little bit.
Hmm.
I feel like this is cute. So, yeah, what color scheme I mean, I am extremely biased and I'm going towards the
Are you
cotton candy
influencing the
floss.
chat, Nina? I feel like you're.
Oh, oh,
If
oh.
this is a political race, I mean,
Oh, wait, this has to be
hint, hint, wink,
like
wink.
totally neutral. I'm extremely
Okay.
neutral.
Extremely neutral, but just select the one that I'm highlighting really, really big on my screen right now. There we go. I love that.
Okay, while you guys pick, I'm gonna show you guys how to make a little pattern.
Nice.
So let's make a pattern. It'll be super fun.
Hang on, did you want folks to pick just quickly before the one you had previously?
Oh yeah, you
But
can pick
so then one or two,
yeah,
left or right, or
beach, candy
ah,
floss,
cool.
or this like neon-y one.
Yeah. Could you zoom in a little bit just that way so folks
Oh, oh
can
yes,
know?
yes, yes.
So there we go, my friends. So you've got three color palette selections to choose from. Option one, far left, middle, option two, and option three, far right. So get us in the chat and I will share that with Nina. I'll keep her in suspense until then. So yeah, go for it, Nina, what you did
Cool.
before. Keep you in suspense until then.
Oh gosh, it's a nail biter. All right, so let's make a pattern with our little doodles. So I'm going to select all of these and then I'm going to go into object pattern make and it starts you
Oh,
off with a
wow.
grid. Starts you off with a grid, which is fine. I like to do the hexagon shape. I don't think it really matters if it's by row or column because you could still customize the size
Mm.
of the width and the height in here, and kind of just play around with that. So let's
Nice.
see what we can make.
Nice. Just to give you a heads up with timing, Nina, we've got about another 15 minutes or so,
Okay.
10, 15 minutes. So then we're in a good place. We'll do like a little rundown of the day and then also obviously how folks can know a bit about you at the end as well.
Mm-hmm. So I'll like quickly make a little pattern here. And I feel like the pattern tool is so customizable. Like this already looks really nice. I'll
Yeah, that's cool.
turn off
I
the
like that.
dim and turn off the tile edge. But I already really like this.
Yeah, I'm digging that.
Um, and then you can add like I like to add a little some dots in here, like
Nice.
little
It's the
stars.
sprinkle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the sprinkles for the ice cream.
Salt Bay. Is it Salt Bay? Yeah, there we go. That's
Oh no,
sprinkle.
I messed up.
Definitely going
Okay.
after his. Yeah. Very interesting, by the way, the options, but I won't say what it is, but I think there's a clear winner. But I'll
Oh
keep you in
gosh,
suspense too when you're done, of course.
I'm
Yeah, I think there's a clear
terrified.
winner. Unless the
I'm gonna
plot
take out the
changes, I don't
little
know.
tiny ones.
Got time.
So I'm gonna save this, and then I'm gonna go into my swatches panel, and it's all the way down here. So also, if this is like, if you're opening up the swatches panel and you're like, wow, this is a lot, um, I'll just throw this up here real quick. You could go to the little hamburger tab and then click select all unused and then delete. So kind of cleans up your space a little bit. And then I'm gonna hit this. I'm gonna make a new, with my pattern selected, I'm gonna make a new rectangle. And I am not scared. I'm definitely not scared of this looking crazy. I'm gonna go into effect, I think it's effect, distort and transform, and then click transform again. And then you can just make sure transform patterns is selected, and then you could just make it as big or as small as you want.
Mhm.
So I don't know, maybe like 80%, just like a little smaller. Do we have the colors that won? I'm
We
gonna
do.
color
I
them.
think it's a clear winner. Option
Uh-huh.
two. Candy.
Okay, cool.
Middle one. Yeah.
So I'm going to color this. I think I'm gonna use more like faint colors for the background.
Hmm. FYI, I don't think the chat was influenced at all by your decision, Nina. I
Oh
think it was
yeah.
totally unbiased
Oh,
opinion.
I definitely didn't want the 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 cotton candy one to win.
No, they're all pretty sharp. They're all good.
So I'm gonna maybe do this. Yeah, that looks cool. And then greetings from the Jersey Shore. Or no, greetings from at the top and then New Jersey at the bottom. It's a little, let me turn this off. Oh, I'm gonna drag this down to this doodle layer, the background, and then I'm gonna hide it. And then I'm gonna change this color to maybe the dark. I don't know, something like that. Maybe this one will be like that brighter pink. Yeah, I think that's cute.
That's
And
cool.
then the background, we'll do the blue. And we can do, let me add these as swatches. Where did my swatches panel go? Do you ever get like a
Yeah,
little
I know
scared
exactly what you're gonna say.
of your screen and you're just like, wait, did I lose something?
It's like it's there, but it's hiding from me, especially in a live
Yeah.
stream.
Yeah, you're like,
Yeah,
whoa.
good.
Okay, so I'm gonna add all these swatches and then I'm gonna open up my pattern and I'm gonna do one color for all this. So
Oh.
thinking, I don't know if I should do like the white and then or like the off-white, the bluish white, because you can kind of see that. And then
Mm.
I'm gonna go with like the light blue.
Whilst you're doing that, it's just a good time to say, my friends. So in the chat, we've got our final 10 minutes. So please, any questions you would like to ask Nina before we shut up shop and do a little roundup, please let me know in the chat and we'll get it over. So yeah,
Mhm.
final 10.
So I think this is a good, like, you see
That's
the
cool.
type pop, you see the art in the
Yeah.
back, and it's not like fighting with each other too much.
Mm.
I did want to show how to make a quick mock-up in like 2 seconds.
Yeah, you're good for it.
Yeah. So these are just some pictures I took on my phone. You could take it with like sunlight is like really good lighting for this. Just any type of bright lighting. And I took like an overhead shot of a 5x7. And I'm gonna throw in the postcard. Oh, I'm gonna select the second option and I'm just gonna line it up.
I love that you've taken your own picture for a mock like it's so rare that folks do that
Yeah.
nowadays. It's just it's already been done for us, right? And it works either way, but it's quite nice that you've done a yeah, art attack sort of do
Yeah,
it yourself kind of thing. Very
it's
cool.
because it's so like customizable when you do it yourself.
Mm,
So
that's
I'm
cool.
gonna select this and hit Command J to make a duplicate, and then I'll make a clipping mask for this so that it kind of conforms to the edges a little, and then I'll hit multiply so it looks a little more real. Um, that's like the really basic way to make a quick mock-up. But
Mm.
yeah, there's so many advanced ways to do it, but yeah, that's like the super fast way.
I
So
mean,
you
just
have
from
this.
like a Brit, totally, non-biased, but just being a Brit, I would definitely want to visit Jersey Shore based on the greeting cards I'm seeing on the street. I mean, I can't talk on behalf of all Brits, of course, because that'd be wrong. But yeah, it's it's looking good. It's looking sharp. The color palettes are
Yeah,
good, actually. It works really well.
yeah, it definitely has that vibe. I think the cotton candy option was
Mm.
good. And then also if you want to like hide the chaos on your screen, you can go to view, trim view, and then you could just see your artboards. And like look how clean and neat that looks. You would never tell what's going on
Love
outside
that.
these artboards. But yeah, that's kind of like the basic rundown of like playing with type, customizing the type a little
Mm.
bit with like transform tools, making like a basic pattern, and then also
Nice.
making a quick mock-up at the end.
I love when you mentioned
So,
about like when the artboard doesn't look as tidy, it almost reminds me of when you got like a bedroom in and you've got all the things stuffed in the closet and the door shut and
mhm.
it looks tidy in the entire room until you open that door and then boom, it just hits you in the
Oh, that
face.
thing's gonna fly
It's
out.
just,
Yeah.
yeah. But no, but it's cool. It's been really cool to sort of see your process, see how you design it out. I mean, I feel like we have like 5 minutes, and I'm just curious. Can we
Oh,
maybe do
yeah.
like maybe if you duplicate that, and then maybe one more extra
Oh,
color from that color
definitely.
palette if we've got time, because then
So let's do that.
they're looking good. And then because actually you've already done the best part, actually, you've done the rundown already. After that, we can maybe go on your website and then find out how folks can know more about you as well.
Oh, definitely.
Awesome.
Let's do this like neon one, maybe. So I'm gonna select all this.
Oh, you did a neon.
And
Oh, very diplomatic. I love that. You've
yeah.
gone for those who haven't chosen it, but those who have picked it. So
Oh,
very fair.
I'm fighting for the little guy.
Yes. I
So
love
I'm
that.
gonna do, oh, it kind of, yeah, it looks like a soda, actually, which is so interesting.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make a duplicate of this pattern
Is it Slurp
and
from Futurama? Okay, no, anyway, get off piece now. But yeah,
I've
there's a
only
brand
watched
called
a little
Slurp.
bit of that, but yeah. I was thinking
Same, I don't
like
watch much.
Sprite. I was thinking like a
Oh yeah,
Sprite or
okay.
something, yeah.
Yeah,
Or I'm gonna
all
add,
the healthy stuff. Love it.
oh, definitely, yeah, like super healthy.
No judgment, though, of course.
So I'll kind of just do the same thing where I'll do the like off green, I guess, for the
Mm,
scenario. And then I'll just replace it with the green. So now it has a little more of a greeny vibe. And then this background will be this. So that's another option. But yeah, it
nice.
like that took 2 seconds for me to change, you know? And
I
if
like
there's
that.
anything that I wanted to like edit on this pattern itself, it's a little hard to see right now, so I'll do a dark color, but if there's anything I wanted to edit on this pattern, it would automatically just change it. Like if I wanted to flip the glasses, make
Mm.
Spider-Man look the other way, I'll
Spider-Man pun. Love it.
yeah, I'll save that and it just like automatically applies. Like there's
Nice.
no hard work, you know, it does it for you. So I
Nice.
really love, I've been obsessed with the pattern making lately.
I was looking
Yeah.
sharp. You've done it awesome. And we have actually, this is perfect timing because we have got literally 4 minutes, but we've got very
Hmm.
one last question from the chat. So I think we answer
Oh
that
yeah.
question and then we'll literally jump into how folks can know about yourself. So final question comes out saying, when have you start again. When you have to start a new project, do you have to carry out a special procedure to come up with creative ideas?
Oh, a special procedure.
Yeah,
Um,
medical procedure, just like creative
Medical
procedure.
procedure.
I
Oh
love
yeah, they have to
that. My
like
brain.
slice open
Yeah.
my brain.
Oh, dark. Okay. I'm
Um,
not gonna go that dark, but yeah.
oh, well, like get to the
I'm good.
brain, yeah.
Adult Swim jokes is
Not
fine.
dark, yeah. Um,
It's a kid's
I
show.
don't know.
Ooh.
I think it's like I just love going through like old projects and mood boards and stuff like that and just like
Mm,
digging through online and going through all the things I've saved. And then just like scribbling things down on paper is like my number one thing. I feel like I don't even keep things in my sketchbook. I just have like little note, you know, like post-its and everything of like
mm.
ideas and stuff, and then I'm like, oh, I want to go to this. But yeah,
Nice.
that's kind of
No.
just like my very basic go-to. It's just scribbling things down and mulling around online, all that. But I guess
Yeah.
that's the procedure. And then like slight panic,
I
little
mean,
bit
that's
of
part
panic.
of the
Yeah.
process, right? It wouldn't be a creative process if it wasn't a little bit of panic towards the end.
Yeah.
But no, it's been very cool. That's a great question, actually. So great to know that. So how can folks know about yourself? How can people catch up with you? Social media? What are you on so people can know?
Oh
As
yeah.
our final thing.
So my at everywhere is at Nina Tour Studio. So I'm on
Cool.
Instagram, I'm on TikTok. I think that's basically the only ones I really use.
Nice.
Um, you could check out my website at ninatour.com. And yeah, I will be opening my shop soon with New
Oh,
Jersey themed
there we go.
stickers and
Plug
artwork and
away.
maybe this one will be on there too. Who knows? Like
I
maybe
love
I'll
that.
play around with this one more. But yeah,
And you got
I'm
to credit
all
the
on
chat because
there.
obviously there's a lot of people throwing like good comments in there, so you might have to credit the whole stream, including myself, as like
Oh
part of your
yeah.
but awesome. But and I can see just to kind of let you know as well, because there's been a lot of positive energy and good chat. We've had people
Yay.
saying great show. We've had folks saying really inspiring. So yeah, everyone's been enjoying your stream. So
Oh,
Nina,
thanks
thank you so
guys.
much for joining us on Adobe Live. So just a little up next, we have Adobe Spotlight with someone who is no stranger to the Adobe space. We have the wonderful illustrator, designer, and animator Fabiola Lara, who will be hosted by Teresa Orr. So stay tuned for that. That is coming up literally next. So on that note, a thank you to the Adobe team. A thank you to everyone in the chat, of course. And Nina, a big thank you to you, because if you didn't hear, there'd be no stream. So thank you so much for joining
Thank
us.
you, Kieran. Thank you for
Yeah,
hosting.
my pleasure. And we'll see you all soon, folks. So take care. Have a good one. Ciao.
Bye, chat.